intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I put on
The Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game can see the Boxing Voice.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition with the Boxing Voice Radio. Hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used. We are back with another one. This time, we're talking the only Mexican-American heavyweight ever to be a unified champion. Andy Ruiz Jr. could possibly be facing Adam Kownacki if he comes out of his fight unscathed, or Chris Arreola, a fight that me and my co-host Michael Gross have been campaigning for since his first win over Anthony Joshua on June 1st. Now, all rumors are pointing to August for the time frame. I'm asking you two questions. Do you like it? And do you think that's too much time out of the ring for, good old Andy Ruiz Jr., who seems to have fluctuated in weight? So we're going to be talking about Andy Ruiz's options and the fact that they've switched from Dillian White and other names to strictly Adam Kownacki and Chris Arreola. Do you like it? And do you think it's too much time out of the ring? Let's head on out to some of these co-hosts. But before we do that, don't forget the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation from anywhere in the world. Now, you can download that Skype app absolutely free on your respected Apple or Android app market. And while you're there, download that Patreon app so you can get up to date on all extras and exclusives. You can ask our guests questions, which we kind of gotten away from due to Border Wars. And we're going to have a guest this morning at 9:30, promoter Michelle Rosato, that has some big news for our listeners. So yeah, man, let's get on out to it. Michael Gross, the boss in Indiana, what it do?
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
Windows count, 2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss, 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo. Good morning. Big ups to everybody out there in the TBV universe. Back with another one. The return of Andy Ruiz, man. It just seems like August is a long way away, you know what I'm saying? He'll be out of the ring for almost, 7-8 months from December to August. That's a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? So I would probably lean more towards the Chris Arreola fight than I would the Kownacki fight, because Kownacki probably a better opponent. He beat Chris Arreola, and he's a little bit more dangerous too. And Chris Arreola have been out of the ring for since last August when he fought Kownacki. So about the same. So I would lean more towards Chris Arreola, but we'll break it down and get into it. What's going on, Mr. Munguia?
It's me, Mario.
What is up? So blessed to be here with y'all today. So blessed to be on these airwaves that have become iconic. I can't wait to chop this up. I think I have a hot take on this one, Mike. I do. I think I have a hot take, but maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. But definitely, I don't think he can go wrong. I don't think Ruiz can go wrong either way. So we'll talk about it. We'll chop it up. What up, Ness?
What up? Good morning, guys. Good morning. I mean, you're right, Mario. I don't think either fight is a bad fight. Are hardcores going to get a little bit upset? I don't even think that they do after Arreola gave Adam such a tough fight. It's not a bad fight for an Andy Ruiz coming off of a loss to the if he goes the Adam Kownacki fight, we know he's no tune-up. He's an undefeated contender on the brink of a title shot. So either direction that Ruiz goes, I'm excited. I will say this. If you were going to fight an undefeated, and this is why I think it's Chris Arreola and not Adam, because if you were going to fight an undefeated Adam, or you're willing to fight an undefeated Adam, then why wouldn't you fight Dillian White? I know you said it was short notice and things like that, but listen, Dillian White in the UK is a bigger fight than Adam. Now, maybe he's looking at it from an American thing, and he's like, look, I did big numbers in New York City with Ruiz. Adam does big numbers in the Barclay. Me and Adam is a big fight. Bigger than Arreola, bigger than Dillian White, who no one knows in America. So Ruiz had a lot of options. Are these two the best option? I think from a hardcore standpoint, we would have wanted the Dillian White fight more. But respect to Ruiz if he takes undefeated Kownacki or Arreola, in my opinion.
Yo, I'll tell you this straight up. I don't want Arreola or Ruiz to happen. Not because it's not a great fight, not because this isn't the type of fight that Ruiz needs to have, following the last couple fights. Just look, Adam Kownacki, in my opinion, steals the show in that fight, beats Ruiz, and doesn't take all the glory that Ruiz has because, Ruiz, a lot of that is, baked into the Mexican heritage and the Mexican fandom. But if you look at Adam Kownacki and you look at that fight, or they just give each other an eye glance like, yo, you're going to come in like really fat because I'm going to come in really fat. Why don't we just both come in really fat? We both have gas tanks. It doesn't matter. We both, fight a certain way or a certain approach. I mean, they're very different fighters, but they have a pretty, common mindset. But I don't know. I don't want them to get anywhere near each other. I don't think that type of fight would be good for them just based off of – it would be good in the sense that Andy Ruiz would finally – we would see if he has that discipline. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only reason I'd want to see that fight is because it would be a war.
I honestly, when I thinking about it, I really not big on the Chris Arreola fight, but I can understand why they're doing it because Andy been out the ring for a long time, man. Like, you just don't want to get back in the ring with somebody like Adam Kownacki when he's gonna be fighting in March, like this weekend, fresher and like matches more so than Andy. Andy been out in the ring since December, man. That's a long time. We don't know what he's been doing. Has him enjoying his money? I think he needs a fight to come back to where it's not stacked against him. Because a guy like Kownacki, man, they're the same size. He throws a lot of punches. So it should be a very, very, very good fight. But I just think Andy needs one fight before he goes towards Kownacki. I think you can sell on the West. Like to the Mexican public, man, two Mexican Americans that's gonna go at it. Arreola gonna throw hands, Andy gonna throw hands, so it's definitely gonna be a good fight.
And it would be big business, like you're saying.
I agree, man. I agree. But Mike, as a Dillian White fan, do you have, I guess, the same opinion? Like, look, he needed a tune-up before going at White, same way you're saying he needs a tune-up before going at Adam, or do you think that the offer should have motivated him?
I think based on those guys being on the same card in December, you know what I'm saying, same time off, same amount of time, I think the Dillian White fight could have possibly, you know what I'm saying, if it was going to happen in like March or April, May, it would have been good for him. But since they're not even, since Andy, you know what I'm saying, got some other plans, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, man. I think the way Kownacki is ranked into the IBF, he's pretty much the same as Dillian White in the WBC. So I don't have a problem with Ruiz choosing the lesser of the number one contenders.
But am I the only one? And this is why I said I thought it was a hot take I thought it could be a hot take. Am I the only one that looks at these fights like completely different? Like the Andy Ruiz Arreola fight is basically what Ness said, it's a tune-up, and not a tune-up because it would be a hard fight, and I think there's a small chance Arreola could win. I mean, I would never pick him, but so I see that fight the way that Ness sees that fight, and then I look at Kownacki. I'm not saying it's a 50-50 fight, but to me that's a much different fight. Like those are two very different approaches. I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks Kownacki has a pretty decent chance to win that fight?
To beat Ruiz?
Yes.
I give it 65, 35, 60, 40, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, if we're doing it,
I'll take that.
If we're doing it the way that it's coming down on us, meaning no tune-up for Ruiz, and he jumps into a like Mike say, jump into an Adam fight with Adam coming off of a pretty decent schedule. He's been active. It can be a recipe for disaster for Ruiz. But it could also play into his hands. He loves the left hook. Adam is a guy that comes straight forward with the 1-2. He could probably count over the right with the left hook or counter the jab like what's my man name that just did it? Ryan, with the hook, and it could be night. So I think it's an interesting fight, but I don't think either one are tune-ups. Like Adam's no tune-up, being undefeated contender and under an eliminator status kind of position, and Arreola, giving Adam the fight that he gave, he's no tune-up. Like, coming off a loss, that's a tough fight. Listen, I sat down with Keith Conley, the manager of Adam Kownacki, and I said, do you guys want that rematch? Because it was pretty tight. He said, no, we don't want that fight again. We weren't even expecting it to be that tough. We don't want that fight again. No way. Not anytime soon. And look, Arreola's been around the block. He's fought a lot of names. He fought the fight of his life. Is he still going to have what he had in that Adam fight? Could he get back up? I don't know. But either fight is a good fight.
Yeah.
I want to see
go ahead.
I want to see Adam fight Brazil in the interim. Brazil called him all types of ducks, posted a duck on his thing, said he ain't want him to. I want Adam to fight Brazil, let Arreola and Andy fight. That seems decent. Brazil's coming off a knockout loss. Arreola's coming off a loss. Both men are being given an opportunity.
And then, let the winners fight? We're talking about two different fights. You're just
I'm saying I'm not really connecting the winners, but we can.
Got it.
We can, though, because obviously Wilder is busy, and was the champion on the PBC side. Now they have to rethink things. Are we really going to send Adam into an IBF eliminator or an IBF Mando shot? Do we want to do some in-house big fights? Because, again, I would have capitalized off of Andy and Wilder. They both lost. In big fights. Put them together on pay-per-view. Both former champions. Let them bounce back. But, all right, each went into their immediate rematches. They have their own reasons. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I don't want that Arreola fight for Andy. As a fan of Andy, as a fan of just boxing, I would love that fight. Love it. Because it's such a weird fight for Andy, because in one sense, nobody in boxing media is going to pick against Andy, right? But Arreola's still got that small chance to win, and he's got a much bigger chance to make it a very good fight and a very tough fight. So it's like, for that kind of fight for Andy to come back to after all that time out, plus he could probably get away with having a fat camp.
And mix in new trainer. Remember, he's not with Robles.
Yep.
He's got to like create this new relationship with a new trainer. Do you really want an Arreola fight? Do you really want an Adam fight? I was thinking Travis Kaufman. You know what I mean? Travis Kaufman, maybe.
Oh man, that's so on the nose. That is way too on the nose. Travis Kaufman, that kind of fight is like exactly what I would have expected.
I don't know. Kaufman gave Luis Ortiz a good fight. I don't think Luis Ortiz was able to knock him out. And
no. Yeah, that's not a knock on Kaufman at all. That wasn't a knock on Kaufman.
No, and I'm just saying, I think that
that name.
we don't want to push over, right? Because he already had that when they bought him out his top-ranked contract. Who'd he fight? Like Dimitrenko? I don't even know the dude's name that he knocked out on PBC. Then he got the AJ fight. Do you remember his last fight before AJ? I think it's like Alexander something. I'm Googling it now. See, can I
That's what I
figure
was
it
gonna
out.
do, but okay, you do that.
Yeah, it is Dimitrenko. Dimitrenko is who we
Okay.
got before, So, look, before Joseph Parker, he didn't fight anything out of this world either. Like, literally. Nothing big, So maybe they do step him backwards to keep him available for a big fight. Because look, before the AJ fight, he fought Devin Vargas, Kevin Johnson, and Alexander Dimitrenko. And then before the Joseph Parker fight, he fought Ray Austin, who's basically a legend, for how long he's been in the game. He's 29-6 with 4 draws. And he fought Josh Gormley and Franklin Lawrence, then got the Joseph Parker title shot. So maybe these options that are being floated are too much, right? Let's think about this from a heavyweight tune-up standpoint. Tyson Fury didn't face a Arreola or a undefeated Adam Kownacki. He fought Tom Schwartz and Odubel Valeen. You know what I mean? He put those guys on the map. Like, we know them because of Tyson now. We never knew those guys.
Yeah, I would say though, and I know you weren't making this point, but I'm just saying that Tyson Fury didn't have that pool to choose from either. So there's a lot of perfect fights, in the heavyweight division for PBC that could be made right now, and that was definitely one of them. But I don't know. The more and more I think about it, the more I would really like to see Adam Kownacki and Andy Ruiz in the fight. I'm fans of both those guys. And I've rarely become like a fan of a boxer. Like, I love watching fights in general, but those are two guys that I don't know. I have this like weird soft spot in my heart. And it's probably because both of them were some of the first guys that I ever interviewed and some of the first fights I ever covered live and as a journalist. So, and they gave me all the time in the world. But yeah, that to me is a marquee fight. I mean, not a marquee fight, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like I think it's a hardcore's delight. I'll put it that way. But
I just think that if he takes any one of these two fights, he's, showing more cojones than a Fury, who took 2 unknown names, 2, 57 and 48 ranked fighters. That's why I'm saying these guys are not tune-ups. This is not a tune-up, in my opinion, if you choose these names.
And that might be a good thing because, we keep talking about such a long layoff for Ruiz and how that can be bad as far as, a physical standpoint goes. So if you were to put somebody like Arreola, which is a marquee match to the Mexican fandom, and for you to go that route, it makes it a bigger fight. For him to see Adam Kownacki and know that I'm not just getting this definite win, he might train super, super hard, and he might have just enough time to look really, really good. So we'll see. I hope he does the right things.
Well, Adam's never shown us that he doesn't train. If anything, the question...
No, I meant Ruiz.
Exactly. I was going to say the question about who's going to train and, will they come in 100% is definitely on Ruiz. I'm excited to hear news on Ruiz and the possibility of a comeback because I want to see who he goes with. There's been a lot of mention of Teddy Atlas. I'm assuming because you're under the limelight, you're going to hire a guy like Teddy and accept his militant, boisterous, animated style, I would hope. I don't want to see Ruiz hire him and then, say, oh, yeah, we didn't, Teddy's a good guy, but, we didn't really mesh well. And that's because he's yelling at you, wanting more out of you. Like, this is what he's going to ask from you. So don't go over there if you're not ready to be, someone's soldier and he's their drill sergeant. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. But do you like that Teddy Atlas mesh?
Honestly, I really don't know, man. Teddy wasn't too kind to Ruiz after the AJ fight. Really talked crazy about him. But I mean, maybe that's what you need. You know what I'm saying? He was training my guy Fosdick, which he was doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Got him the victory over Adonis. You know what I'm saying? Was able to get the belt. I mean, Teddy's a good trainer. He has heavyweight experience with Mike Tyson and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not opposed to it, but it probably wouldn't be my first pick.
From a strategy standpoint, from like a boxing, just like pure skill standpoint, I really like it. I love it as far as like what he needs in terms of discipline right now. So I think it would be really well. And you covered that really well. I remember first thinking
Mario,
that this had
hate
to be
interrupt,
fake, you know?
but
Go ahead.
we got our first guest, Michelle Rosato, promoter out of Philadelphia. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for coming on the program. How are you?
I'm good. It's early out here, but I had to jump on.
I'm so glad you found the time. You are on what, Mountain Time? Because I think you said it's 7:30 where you're at?
Yeah, it's 7:30 where I'm at, but I've been trying to do my best to adjust to the Philly time because I'm going out to Philly today, but it's rough, 2-3 hours, man, it's rough going back.
Well, at least you have some good news to discuss. There was a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation as to whether or not this Philly special was going to make it to television, and it seems like it has. So I just want to hear from your perspective. How do you feel about, being able to have one of your shows on television and be able to get that deal on your own? This is not ESPN. This is not a Top Rank co-promotion. This is Michelle Rosato, Raging Babe Promotions, doing her thing under the lights, completely from the top to the bottom.
I feel like a bunch of different emotions. Like a part of me is still a little bit in disbelief that it's happening. Like I'm so happy for Stevie Ortiz and Damon Allen, not just for myself, but for them to have this platform. It's a tremendous local matchup, and they're going to get to show, the country that they're good fighters, and it's going to allow them to move up the boxing food chain. So it's really a win-win for me, but it's like almost a bigger win for them. I feel blessed. I feel excited. I mean, I've got so many emotions going through me. There's some days where I even feel sad. There's just a lot going on. I'm a middle-class promoter. I was saying this yesterday on my Twitter that I represent the middle class. In boxing, there's a lot of haves and have-nots, and then there's no middle. There's nothing in between. And I feel like that's where I'm at, and I feel like that's my sweet spot. And I'm not calling these fighters middle class, but the reality is that's where we are. We're in that middle class where in Philly we have fighters that can fight. They're willing to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. They just needed a platform to showcase their talent on. And so, just extremely grateful, man.
Now, do you expect your main event fighters to perform, or do you think that the pressure of the television, I don't know, can add some sort of element there?
I know. The only thing now I could do is pray that all the fights translate from paper into the ring. The 3 fights that we're going to show on air are very good style matchups. They are competitive fights, but again, we can't fight for them. So hopefully they don't freeze. Hopefully they outperform, and hopefully from paper to the ring, they'll be sensational. I don't think Stevie Ortiz and Damon Allen can be bad. I just don't think it can. I was thinking about all the Philly versus Philly fights that have happened the past several years, and there was only maybe 1 or 2 stinkers, that they just didn't mesh well stylistically. And one of them was actually probably Brian Jennings and DeWaco. I don't think that was as good as a fight as we were hoping it to be, But I don't think Ortiz and Allen could be boring. They're both coming to win. They're both coming to knock each other out. They have both said on several occasions that, there's a brotherhood in Philly, but they got to take their brother out. It's personal. So I think they're going to put on a good show.
So before I pass you to my two co-hosts, I just want you to give a little bit of information because all I've been saying is TV. Let the world know what network, how they can access it, and anything you know about Impact Television, Impact Network, and where, the Philly special will land. And then I'll introduce you to my two co-hosts.
And the date of the card as well.
March 27th.
Okay.
I have the date of the card actually playing on the overlay. With the whole lineup, the video that you did with the beautiful, damn, I wish Benny Siegel was still popping like back in the day, but you used his intro and I love it.
I know. I tagged him yesterday or the day before. It was his 20th year anniversary releasing that album. I was hoping he would have seen it. I want to invite him to come to the show. So here's what I know about Impact, guys, is it is an African-American faith-based channel right now. And they are transitioning, I believe, over the next 60 or 90 days to be a regular channel, meaning like a BET, okay, something like that. And I don't know all the specifics, but I know they are transitioning. They do want to get into boxing very heavy. They want to make sure that they're showing a good product. That doesn't necessarily mean the biggest and baddest names in the business, but it means putting on a good quality product. They are accessible to the people, which means all you need is like a premium cable package in your house. And it's like the lowest tier cable package. So I know they reach about 86 million homes, basic cable. I mean, if you have Comcast, Spectrum, Verizon, Fios, Dish, DirecTV, Ruco, Amazon, like if you have any of that stuff, digital, satellite, or cable, I could almost guarantee you that you have the Impact channel. So just look on your listings.
But if you don't, the app is absolutely free.
Correct. So if you don't, you could download their app and you could watch it that way. We do have a 2-hour window. Oh, go ahead.
No. You go ahead. My apologies.
Okay, we do have a 2-hour window. And this is something that I really had to beg for. But we are going live Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time to 11. Now, Impact normally are going to do all of their boxing shows on Saturday nights. But on March 28th, there's so much going on. ESPN has a card. Dazn has Virgil Ortiz. PBC has, I don't know who's fighting on the 28th. But there's 3 shows March 28th. And I had to beg Marcano, to talk to Impact and say, we got to go Friday night. So we are the only show Friday night. There's no Telemundo. There's no Showbox. There's nothing else Friday night, March 27th. So please make plans. We need to do good ratings. Tune in to see like an old school classic club show, and just support so we could do more of this.
All right, so
I'm sorry, I thought Mike was gonna go.
Yeah,
Hi,
me
Michelle.
too.
This is Mario Munguia. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Yo, so happy for everything that's come your way. Obviously, I've been following you since 2013, probably even before that, and I was hoping Mike was going to go first because I know my question is going to take a little longer. You know what? Let Mike go first because mine's going to be more of like a bio question just because I know there's listeners, we have first-time listeners all the time, so I just wanted to get a bio question. But go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Ms. Rosato. Sorry about that. My first question for you is, has Impact talked about a long-term deal with you, or are they just looking at this one particular event and they're going to go from there?
We have been talking about future cards, but we can't jump too far ahead of the game. We really have to see how this one goes over, internally and externally. But there definitely are plans to continue working together. I think they like the game plan. I think they like the way that we promote our shows. It's going to look sensational on TV with a packed, loud building. I'm hopeful. Let's put it that way. If we have a success card and good ratings, then of course they're going to want to, bring us back and maybe offer us even a couple dates. And that is my goal. I would love to have such a great show that they say, you know what, we want to give her 2 or 3 dates. And I'll be honest, since this press release went out yesterday, everybody's been calling Impact. Every promoter on earth, obviously they want TV time. They need that kind of exposure. And I just hope it doesn't mess things up for us small guys, like this middle class that I keep talking about. So hopefully they don't eat up all the airtime and can still make room for smaller shows.
Well, I did hear that they should be having a meeting with Golden Boy. So let's hope, because I know Lou DiBella got some dates, and I was very excited for you. Like, when we had Steven on, my whole thing was the Philly special. You could go back and play it. I'm like, contact her, and then he finally let it out. Like, we're kind of talking, we're seeing what we can do for her, and I'm like, perfect, because that's a main event that deserves it, and you're absolutely right. The Lou DiBellas, the Michelle Rosatos, even the Salitas, even though Salita's getting some Showtime time, he has other fighters, Greg Leone. All these guys need TV time. We need a Friday Night Fights, a Tuesday Night Fights kind of series that can give the Steven Ortiz's time. I've been knowing Steven now, I think it's been like 5 years, bro, and for him to finally get TV time, it's like, in a way unfair, but because he's only 11-0, kind of right out on time at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I have to thank you too, Ness, because yes, we were in talks, but Marcano, to be honest, he was kind of brushing me off a little bit. I would call him, he would be busy, he would be, in a meeting, and, he wasn't rushing to call me back. And these are just facts, you know what I mean? And I think when he went on your show, whatever you said to him and campaigned for the Philly special, I mean, he called me the next day and he spoke to me about being on your show and the good things that you had to say. And he's like, all right, let's talk. I mean, so if it weren't for you, like, pumping up the show and encouraging him to do this, I don't know if we would be here today. I mean, we were in talks, but I wasn't really getting his attention as much. So I got to send you like a gift bag or something, because I think you really put him over and helped him make the decision. So I'm forever grateful for you guys.
Listen, man, we just want to do what we can for the sport. This is the only sport I watch, and I want guys like Steven.
Me too.
Steven and Damon, even Christian Cardo. I was there for his first loss, and I think he deserves to come back on television. So I love what you're doing, but I want to ask a business question now. I know that you basically sold out before you got TV. So how did that affect your seating with now the camera space, the truck, all the stuff that comes into making a show on television?
Well, we went over the seating chart and everything with the owner of the venue and Impact and the production team. And we're not going to have to change much. I mean, there is one quarter in the Southeast that we're just not going to set up, and they're going to be able to either put their jib there and use cameras above. And I don't know, that stuff kind of goes over my head, those big technology words, but it all worked out. We didn't have to kill any seats. We didn't have to really rearrange anything at all. So it all worked out just fine, like by the grace of God.
And how'd you get Sennard Bunch on this fight? Didn't he just have a fight like 4 days ago? Like, this kid is super active.
Sennard catches a body like every week. He is, he just fought in Delaware, first round knockout. Actually, the guy, he wasn't feeling it, took a knee and said, that's it. Then he actually went to the commissioner and wanted Greg Serb to examine Bunch's gloves. He was claiming that he had something in his gloves, and Bunch actually agreed. He was like, yeah, my fist. I had my fist in my glove. So he's the busiest fighter in boxing. He's already fought 10 times since turning pro in April of last year, and March 27th will be his 11th fight in less than a year. We love the guy. He's like a throwback fighter. He wants to stay busy. He's coming up the old school Peltz way. He has earned so much respect in Philly after that Paul Kroll fight. That's when we knew we wanted to sign him. When he said he wanted to fight Paul Kroll, like who says they want to fight Paul Kroll? Nobody. So he did. He put up a hell of a fight. He's a dog, good, humble kid. We love working with him. We think highly of him, and he's the busiest guy in boxing right now.
I wanted to go back to something that you said earlier about the different emotions that you've been going through. Like you said, you've been kind of sad. And I was thinking, like, she just got a deal with Impact Network. So can you just expound on that for me real quick?
Sad, maybe more like proud. Like I get a little emotional, just thinking about where I started and all the hiccups I had and the roadblocks. And I think a lot about that. It makes me a little sad. I think about my dad and how proud he would have been. And like, I still haven't made it. Like, I still have a long, long way to go. But I feel like, wow, this year really could be my breakout year. And I just remember there was nights where, I went to bed thinking, why the fuck am I in this business? Why am I putting myself through this? Why am I sacrificing so much? And something like this, it's like, okay, this was why. This is why I gave up, everything, like from a social life, getting married, having kids, traveling, my house, my car. Like, why did I do all that? Why did I give up all those things? And now I'm starting to see why. And, so it's a mixture of sadness and happiness and feeling proud and being confused. And it's just a lot, It's a lot of different emotions.
Michelle, really quick before
I know
Mario...
that probably sounds corny, but...
I'm sorry. Before Mario jumps in,
Absolutely
do
not.
you know if the app is international or is it territorial bound?
That I do not know yet, and I do need to learn more about their app because I had a ton of people on Twitter asking me about their app yesterday. Don't know much about it yet.
Hey, Michelle, man, I'll tell you this, and I'm just like a side note. Every time Michelle's come on and I've been on to interview her, the interviews have gone great. And that's exactly what just happened, because I'm so glad that y'all got the event questions, because these are the questions that I wanted to follow. So that was perfect. The event is going to be amazing. That main event, I am so excited for. So excited for. Do you know, real quick, the last question I wanted before I move on to you, do you know how many of the fights are going to be televised?
Yeah, 3. Right now we're planning for 3 with a swing bout. So we're going to open up, and we haven't even, talked about this yet, but we are going to open up with the Christian Cardo fight. He's in a 6th rounder. Then we have a big heavyweight fight that we haven't even announced yet, but I'll let you guys know just because you guys have been so good to me. The press release will go out next week. Elvis Garcia, who is a DeBella fighter, who is Anthony Joshua's chief sparring partner for both Andy Ruiz's fights. He trains out there with Joel Diaz. Elvis Garcia is going to fight Farhat Delgado. So, and that's another Chino Rivas fight, Mexican versus a Puerto Rican in the co-main event, heavyweight. It's going to be a rumble. They're both undefeated, 8-0 versus 7-0. So we're going to announce that next week, make a really big deal about it. I am praying to God that Anthony Joshua comes to support his stablemate Elvis. I am praying to God. And then Ortiz and Allen in the main event. And then we'll have a swing bout, which will probably be Tommy Santiago making his pro debut. I would love to squeeze him in and get him some airtime if the Cardo or the heavyweight fight ends early. And so that's what we got. Look, if you take the same show and you put it on Showtime, it's no longer a club show. It's a Showtime show. It's a Showbox card.
Right.
It's
Absolutely
great
right.
fights. Yeah, so, I call it a club show, but if this were on Showbox, it would not be called a club show.
Well, you did call it a club show, but I really love the idea of you branding yourself the blue-collar promoter, because I feel that way about you, not to associate it with the, way that we think of blue collar in terms of political landscapes or economical landscapes, but just how hard you've worked over the years. And that's what I want to give you the opportunity real quick. I know it's a very long story, and I don't mean long, but super interesting. There's a lot of different twists. But if you could just give our audience just a slight breakdown, because for those that don't know, Michelle did not start off promoting. She wasn't, just put into the situation. She didn't just take it. Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds kind of like a shot. No. Listen, she was not handed any of this stuff. I felt like I was talking about somebody, but I'm not. And so just give us a quick, rundown of how you got into the game, and let people know exactly how far you've come, because I remember the fighters you getting us, back in 2013, and you've always been good to us too. As much as you talked about Ness, you've always been great to us. So just give the people a little rundown of the story.
Yeah, I started out in the local Phoenix club circuit, and that's where I kind of, made my bones, was in Phoenix. And then I ended up getting with Mayweather Promotions, and I interned there, and then ended up working for them for a short little while. And I knew that I needed a mentor. I knew I needed to learn the business, like the T, like how to cross the T's and dot the I's, and that's when I got with Russell Peltz in Philly, who was a Hall of Famer, legendary promoter. And you know what? You're kind of right. A lot of people think that I was handed things, or maybe that I slept around to get to the top. And I'll tell you, Russell has never handed me anything. He has helped me open some doors with some people, for sure, because of his relationships, but he never handed me a blueprint. I had to pretty much carry the spit bucket in the beginning. Like, I started at the bottom. I worked for free for a while. He was very hard on me, lots of tough love. Doesn't want me to make mistakes, wants me to do the right thing, treat everybody right. So it's been a hard road. It's been the road less traveled. And people think that maybe he funds me. Russell does not give me $1. If I make money, it's my money. If I lose money, I'm losing it on my own. I actually pay him now to be our matchmaker. So the roles have kind of reversed, but it's been really tough love. I started working in Philly with other promoters like Johann. And then, when Russell was partnering up with Top Rank, that's how I kind of got my foot in the door there and built my own relationship with them as well. And I just knew it was time to do my own thing again, and to build my own brand, to build my own shows. And, I left the Johann promotion gig. Russell decided he didn't want to promote anymore either. He just wanted to match make. And so now I'm running my own shows. And, here's the thing. I don't worry about other competition, other promoters. I never have. Even in Phoenix, I always kept my head down. I've always focused on my own paper. I don't try to cheat. I don't try to sabotage people. I worry about my own shows. And in Philly, there's so many promoters right now doing shows. I can't worry about them. They might be worrying about me and what I'm doing. I can't worry about that, because I tell people all the time, my biggest competition are the Philadelphia Eagles and the 76ers and the Phillies. That's who I worry about, because when they're in town and they have 30, 40, 50,000 people going to their games, that's what I worry about. That's what I'm planning around and planning to piggyback off of, not this other Philly club promoter. So, I just think my thoughts and my views on this are a little different, and I got to thank Russell for that, because he kind of drilled that into my head early on, was like, focus on your own paper. Keep your head down. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And I think, honestly, that has gotten me far. And even if you look at the bigger picture, like the bigger promoters, they all worry about each other. You know what I mean? This one's, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum go at it, and DeBella's going at it with Hearn, and Heyman and Bob. Like, damn, I just wish they would stop all that. You know what I mean? Like, give it a break already. Like, let's just do what's best for the sport. Let's stop worrying about what we're all doing here. There's more than enough to go around.
and it's kind of frustrating for me to hear you talk because this is exactly what Texas needs. Exactly what you're saying. You know, you don't know how many times I've heard promoters say, "Oh, well, you know, who could we get for a main event?" Or you know, and thinking about the other promotion, it's like, no, this is a local. You know how many, Michelle? You know how many pay-per-views we DVR'd, and me and 6 of my hardcore friends went to a local show that was the same night of a Pacquiao fight or an AJ fight or Wilder fight, whatever. We did that all the time. So you don't worry about the competition. You worry about the local market. I'm so glad that you said that, because that definitely needs to be heard. Listen, I could talk to you forever. I could. So I wouldn't want to keep you that long. Listen, all I know is I remember when I was younger.
I do want. I'm sorry. I want to add this thing now that we're talking about, working together. I had a show last year where I literally had 4 fighters on my card from 4 different promotional companies. I had a Rock Nation fighter on my card, a Top Rank fighter, a main event fighter, and a DeBella fighter. I'm all about working with everyone. I'm unbiased. We can work together. I learned this a long time ago too. Listen up. You don't always have to like who you work with, but you got to work with them in boxing for the better of the sport, to make good fights. So I don't have to love somebody I'm working with, but we got to know how to work together, man. It's a business. So on my one card, I had 4 different promoter fighters on my card. And, that's how it should be. Make good fights, work with everybody, get over the politics, get over the greed, get over it.
Absolutely, 100% right. Look, all I was going to say is that, I wish you continued success. I remember when I was younger and the movie about Jackie came out, and it was like, whoa, that was crazy. And at the time, obviously, I didn't understand the significance of it until I got a little older. But look, I don't know. I hope that Michelle movie comes out one day. You know what I'm saying? Like in the same kind of line with a much different meaning, in the sense that we're much further along. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the other thing that we're doing. Thank you. Well, here's the other thing we're doing. I remember when Jackie's movie came out, I watched it like 100 times. Okay, and I wasn't even in the business back then, because that was like, 2000 or something like that?
Yeah.
But I watched it like 100 times. And it's funny that, look where I'm at today. Like back then, I didn't even think I was going to be in boxing. I was happy being a mechanical engineer. But what we are doing for this show, and I've never done this before, is we are filming my fight week. We are going to film me, like pretty much 24/7 at the office, running around, my personal life, everything you can think of what happens during fight week. I finally agreed to do it. And it was something I haven't wanted to do because, first of all, my fight weeks are really chaotic. And there's days where I have fucking breakdowns and I'm cursing and I'm slamming doors. I thought I would be embarrassed to kind of show that. But it's real. And it's what all promotional companies go through, all of them. They're all dysfunctional in a good way. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. Every company has their own dysfunction. And as much as you plan your show, come fight week, everything falls apart. Everything. You could plan everything to a T, and things happen. So I finally agreed to let somebody film my fight week, and I'm a little nervous about it, but you guys are going to get to see what happens behind the scenes leading up to a show.
That's awesome. And I'm glad too, because, you understand social media better than a lot of these other promoters. And so I can't wait to start seeing those vlogs.
So Michelle,
thank you.
Any updates on boxing moms, and are you waiting for the success of the Philly show before you pitch it to the network?
Yes and no. We already have reached out to several networks and promoters. And, there's interest, but nobody's really pulling the trigger. And I've been so, consumed in the Philly special that, honestly, I haven't given boxing moms the right TLC. But I do think with the Philly special, I think something's going to come out of it. I'm hoping Impact loves it, and I'm hoping that they pick it up. And we could put all kinds of fighters on that show because nobody's tied down to the network. So we'll see. A lot of people are asking me, who's the next mom? I don't know. I have some ideas. I've had some moms reach out to me, big-time moms, like moms who their sons are big time, and thanking me
I
for
heard it was Crawford's
doing
mom.
it. I would love to do Crawford's mom's next. I would love to do Shakur Stevenson's mom. I would love to do Ryan Garcia's mom. There's a bunch of moms, and these are all people that have been open to it. You know, not just me throwing their names out there, but all the moms have said, like, thank you for doing this. Like, I don't feel alone. There's another woman out there going through what I go through. Thank you for doing that. Like, they know it's a good thing. And so I just need a network or a promoter to realize, you know, that this could be so much bigger. I did this on a very limited budget, Ness. 1 camera, 1 man. And you saw how good the production was for being 1 camera, 1 man. Imagine what they could do if they had, you know, a 3-4 man production team.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, obviously me and my crew follow you, you know, closely, so we know what Boxing Mom is. Give a short synopsis.
Boxing Mom chronicles the life of a boxing mom, the life of a fighter, you know, raising a warrior and the burden that she carries. I mean, these women are extraordinary. Watching their son climb through the ropes, get hit in the head for a living, training camp, cutting weight, all those things that go on. A lot of these moms are almost like the manager. They're reading the contracts. They're hustling the tickets. They're putting posters up in their neighborhoods. You look at their social media. They're promoting their sons harder than the promoter promotes their son. Okay? So I just wanted to shine the light on boxing moms because they are the unsung hero. They are like the third man in the ring. And a lot of times it's the trainer, it's the dad who gets the limelight. And the mom is never looking for the limelight, but I just think it's time that we tell their stories. You know, a lot of times they're growing up in a single income home. Their kids had to go to national tournaments. They needed trunks. They needed shoes. A lot of times the mom was working 2 jobs. She's still living in the projects because the son hasn't made $1 million yet. That's the part of these fighters that you don't see. And I think through the mom, you're going to learn a lot about the fighter. And a lot of people, after watching boxing moms, have said, wow, I like Joseph Adorno. I like Jeremy Adorno. I'm going to root for those guys. I didn't know them before, but I know them now. So not only is this about boxing moms, but I think it also helps promote the fighters. And I don't know why a promoter wouldn't want to pick up this series. It's just so phenomenal, and it could be so much bigger and better.
Would you, excuse me, would you accept, I guess, as a last alternative, to air it on maybe one of these promoters' bigger YouTube channel? I think Top Rank maybe has like 600,000 subs. Maybe I could double check, but
yeah, I would be totally open to that. I mean, as long as they cover the cost and I can stay on as an executive producer, absolutely. I don't care if they put it on YouTube, ESPN Plus. I don't care if it gets picked up on Netflix, like wherever it goes. I just wanted to get picked up and tell these stories. So I would be definitely open to that. Like I said, as long as the costs are covered and everybody's happy, and as long as I could stay on board in one way, shape, or form, because I have to protect these moms. You know what I mean? I don't want this to become something it wasn't supposed to be. And that's what VH1 tried doing to me several years ago when we were in talks. It wasn't boxing moms, but it was more about women in boxing, okay? And the name I had for it was called Ring Girls. And it wasn't Ring Girls, but it was actually the women in boxing, and I was calling it Ring Girls. And they loved it, but they started going left. Like, they wanted the groupies, you know, who's sleeping with the fighters, who's sleeping with married men, you know, where are we going to get the drama? And I'm like, yeah, nah, I didn't want it to be Basketball Wives. I didn't want it to be like Love and Hip Hop. So,
you know what's funny,
like,
though?
yeah, this ain't going to work for me.
You know what's funny? We were just having that debate not too long ago. Boxing does need its own Love and Hip Hop where the fighter can cross, I guess, fandoms with the urban hip hop star, right? Like, if we had more boxers meeting up with more, you know, Drakes and, you know, we can probably get a different audience. But I do want to say Top Rank has 453,000 subs. and they get let me see here. They've amassed a total of 160,973,375 views. That's a lot. So yeah, it would be good.
Yeah.
It would be great to be on there with some good promotion, obviously. But listen, Michelle, we could talk to you all day. I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on. I'm so happy that the big guy took care of you and your show, and you continue to prosper in this sport. And you're shining, man. You're shining. Oh, last thing I want my listeners to know, you celebrated, because I don't want to say bragged. You celebrated, which is exactly what you should be doing, that you only comped 84 tickets. So out of those 84, do we get any big names?
Not me. No, that was a retweet that Top Rank and PBC only comped 84 tickets on the Wilder Fury card.
Holy smokes. Wow, that's insane on that
Yeah,
fight.
that was a tweet. Yeah, that was about that. But I'll tell you what.
That's crazy
If
to
I
only give out
comped
84
people, I would be mad at myself. No, I can't afford to comp 84 people. That's great for them. Right now, I have about 4 comps. And, it's funny. One of them is Julian Williams, because he did me a big favor and he looked out for me a few weeks ago. But right now I got 4 comps. And, I don't really do the comp thing. So we'll see. I mean, I think at the most I'll do like 10. But right now I got 4.
But out of those 10, any Philly names that should, get, I don't know, a pan on the camera with the little graphic overlay of their name, or no stars coming out?
No, not that I know of yet. I mean, besides J-Rock, Gabe Rosato usually comes out to support my shows, so like he may be there depending on what his schedule is looking like in LA. No, I don't have like Gilly the Kid calling me. I don't have like Meek Mill calling me, or I mean, if they wanted to come, obviously I'd make the exception for Meek Mill. But now I don't have those type of comps and calls. Not really.
All right.
Maybe when it gets closer to the show.
All right. No, I'm just, how every network pans to the audience and shows like, oh, there goes Errol Spence. There goes Virgil Ortiz. So I'm just thinking where you're going to have maybe B-Hop in the audience.
Well, Stevie Ortiz said it best on your show a couple weeks ago. Real Philly fighters, if they really want to support the show, they're going to buy a ticket and they're going to come. And I would think a fight like this, I feel like we should see every Philly fighter in that building. I feel like Danny Garcia should be there. B-Hop will be with Virgil Ortiz. They got a show, so B-Hop won't be in the building. But I expect to see, like, Jeff Chandler. We're going to invite Jeff Chandler. We're going to invite some old-timers. But, those Philly guys should be in there, like the Jesse Harts and the Boots Ennises and Joey DeWacos, and I don't know, who else are some Philly fighters? They should all be in there. Put it that way.
Well, all right. One last time, let everyone know where to watch the Philly special, and if there are any tickets available, how to purchase, and your social media, of course. And I want to thank you, obviously, for your time.
All right. Thank you. If you're in the Philly, Jersey, Delaware, tri-state area, come to the show because it's so much different in person. The atmosphere at the arena is crazy. 2300arena.com for tickets. And if you're not in the tri-state area and you can't get to Philly, we go live on Impact. Check your local listings, check your cable listings, and we go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. Any social media?
At Ragin' Babe, everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at Ragin' Babe.
All right. Well, Ms. Rosato, thank you for your time once again and wish you nothing but the best. See you soon. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Promoter Michelle Rosato. Man, so happy for her. Inspirational.
Bro,
Inspirational. Super come up. Inspirational
Super
story, brother, to see her transition into a promoter and be successful. And working with, I mean, I was at that show that she spoke about with the Top Rank fighter and the Rock fighter. The Rock fighter was Damani Rock. Top Rank was Sonny Kanto. Lou DiBella.
Stephen Big Shot Shaw.
Yo, bro, she's killing it, bro.
I remember that card. That was a really good card.
Super inspirational, bro. Because look, I've been saying that, for some time now. Like, yo, I would love to manage a fighter because it's just so many opportunities. Like, it's just happening so easy that, and you get to see the talent. So it's interesting, man, to see her come so far. I love the Boxing Mom series. I swear to God, the shit almost made me cry. Like, it literally made me cry. You know what I'm saying? Almost because I'm a dude. But, like, bro, that whole little episode was tight, man. It was the Adorno. That's why I want to get the Adornos on. She followed the Adorno story with the mom, and it was pretty good, man. It was definitely heartfelt.
Bro,
and I didn't know it was one camera.
That's crazy that it was one camera,
Yeah.
bro. And I wanted to say it, but there was no break in the conversation to say it. But growing up, having different girlfriends, bringing them to fight parties and stuff, I can't even remember how many times I've had a girl ask me, like, while they're showing the lead up to the main event and they're showing the fighter's story, and them turn to me and ask me, oh, they don't have moms, like, and not like in a dick way, like, oh, where's the mom? Like, literally, like, they're like, oh, their mother died. Like, they haven't shown her, but they've shown the father and the brother 100 times. Like, so
yeah, no, because the mother,
you know what I mean?
The mother usually gets the shine on fight night. They pan to her like, oh, there goes Terrence Crawford's mom in the audience, and she's rooting, or there goes Manny Pacquiao's mom. So, yeah, she
like
definitely
10-second
thought
blow
outside of the box with the content. And I think that, it's all about numbers and dollars and cents, but it makes sense, at least from the surface of the conversation, for Impact as a Christian network. Listen, I'm from a Christian household, and the only person that was driving that was my mom. My dad wasn't going to no church, so I'm going to assume there's more women watching the Christian network than there are men. The Boxing Mom seems like the right fit for that network. We'll see. I'm going to assume it's going to be based off the success of the Philly show, so, you guys need to tune in. It's free for me. The minute Trout was fighting, I just talked into my Xfinity remote, said Impact, it's there. But like I said, because Trout was fighting, I realized, they got an app too. So you don't even need like service with them to watch it. It's a free app. So I don't know, man. We're going to see a lot of promoters because, sources telling me Lou's getting a deal. Sources telling me Golden Boy is having a sit down with not my guy, but a bigger guy. So things are gonna quickly start to develop. But I think it's good, and I'm with her. I swear. I don't want to see a Golden Boy come swallow all the dates. You know what I mean? I want to see Lou. Lou has about 5 heavyweights. Look, Alexander Teslenko lost, and we didn't even know because Lou didn't put it on TV, bro, because that dude ain't fight. So this is what I'm saying. Like, there's promoters out there that need this time, Like, Bob and Golden Boy and Al, let them stay where they're at and let Impact deal with the Lou's, the Salitas. Actually, Salita has Showtime now. You know what I mean? They got Showtime, got Salita and Cameron Duncan. They're using Cameron for Jaron Ennis and others, Brandon Lee and things like that, and they're using Salita. We about to see Louis Neary and Dapatev versus Lucas Brown. That's all Salita. But Salita's not bound with them. You see, he got fights on Top Rank, he got fights on DAZN, he got fights on Showtime. So we need this channel, man. We need this to do well. Mark your freaking calendars, all right? You bozos moonlighting with football and basketball. Mark your calendar, DVR it at least so she gets the fucking view. Weirdos, and you never know what other show, she can get from here. Her or others, man. We need Impact to do good numbers. You don't have to pay $10 a month like Showtime, or $8 a month, or $20 a month like DAZN. So open your brain. Open your brain. We got another network dumping money into the sport you love. But anyway, man, we're going to open up these phone lines, go back out to the main topic. Obviously, Andy Ruiz versus Adam Kownacki or Chris Arreola in August. Do you like it? And do you think that's too much time out of the ring for Andy Ruiz? Don't forget, he should be doing this fight with a new trainer. So that's also on the table for him. We're going to go out to the sponsors and open up these phone lines. Those are my final thoughts. Mario, Mike, anything you want to add before we go to the callers and sponsors?
Yeah, I just completely agree with the idea. I mean, just the philosophy behind having different fighters on different cards or on the same card from different promoters. Like, it's just I don't know. There's a hierarchy in boxing, right? And the top promoter to the lowest promoter is very far, but everybody else is in that second half. Nobody ever gets close to reaching that upper echelon, right? If you start to filter down and you can use these other promoters and you can use these other networks to showcase fighters that, I don't know, you don't have enough cards for, there's, probably a promotion that could use that. It works for everybody because you're absolutely right. I remember, I mean, it's not as bad today, but do you remember when we first started the show and how many times we'd hear like a big fighter, or not a big fighter, but a big, blue chipper lost and we didn't even know? It was like a week later because there weren't DAZNs and there weren't as many apps and the streams sucked. And we were bootlegging everything because there wasn't anything else we could do. It was out of our markets most of the time. So, just, man, she's on the way. And more people are going to follow her lead, I promise.
I just want to say thank you, Ms. Rosato, for coming on. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the event March 27 goes great, and hopefully you can get more dates on Impact. You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? To try to get you more dates on Impact and really let Impact get behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, as Impact came on and said that they don't really have a very, very big budget, but it's a budget enough to put these kind of shows on. So. Hopefully it's successful. Hopefully the main event is lives up to building, and yeah, man, we can get more shows on Impact.
Definitely, man. Let's open up these phone lines. First, quick word from the sponsors. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget to add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. You want to be part of the conversation from anywhere in the world.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
All right, let's go on out to J-Mac, New Orleans Boomerang status. Good morning.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all.
I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from terrorists.
You can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing him. You want to bet? You bet 100,000 on that. Let's bet $1 million. Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Yo, good morning. Hey, y'all can hear me?
We hear you.
What up, J-Mac?
Hey, what up, Mike? What up, Ness? Myra, won't you just ask her for a number next time?
Well, I mean, I have her number, not like that, but
you know
she's
what I'm talking about.
No, I know.
That was a great interview. Like, I wish it success. I try to do what Ness say, at least DVR it. With the Impact, look for it on my TV. As far as the fight, guys, y'all talking about, I definitely would love to see Andy versus Kownacki. I don't really care too much about Chris Arreola. I know how to say it now. I can't come off right now, but Arreola. I don't really care to see that Arreola because I didn't see him. I think he's fight too many practices. You know, it's time. I think he's been sitting on the shelf for a while. I'm not certain, but I definitely love to see Andrew Ruiz in a Kownacki fight, and I got Andrew Ruiz being Kownacki. That's my first call.
All right, J-Mac, thanks for calling in. We're going out to Boomerang. Trey in the Bay. What up?
What's going on, Trey?
And your service horrible in the Bay. Are you a driver or is just your service in the Bay? Like, whoa.
Hi, it's my service on this base. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, you on a
Yeah, now you
base? You
better.
on a military base?
Yeah. So my service is shit. Can y'all hear me?
We hear
Is
you
it
good
better?
now. Way better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got Andrew Ruiz beating both of them dudes. If he come in shape, that's the question. Great interview. I'll definitely check out. I'll probably have to stream it though because I don't have Impact on my TV. That's my call.
All right. Yes.
Get on your.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go
You
ahead.
say it. I was just
all
going
thing you gotta do is get on your app market, no matter if it's Android or iPhone, and you can download the app for free. Don't cost you nothing. I don't even think you got to sign. Well, you probably do got to sign up.
Mike, so you ain't downloaded yet?
No, not yet.
Come on, champ. You know you've been cut the cord, so you supposed to at least download it to test it.
Is the fight on?
I mean, you want to wait for the day of the fight to be making email accounts and all that stuff?
I mean, I only got one email account. I don't think it's gonna be that hard for me to download it and sign it. I mean, I ain't about to watch nothing.
Nah, honestly, it was to get like your. I was hoping you downloaded it so we could get your user experience. See how the UI is because, again, I checked their YouTube channel. Man, they had like 700 people. It was like they need some work. It's crazy that the network has 86 million homes and isn't really doing its thing. But listen, they willing to expand, and it looks like they got some fresh blood in the company, and I'm just so happy it's for us and it's free.
Download it now.
Nothing to pay for. It's free for us, man. So DVR it because we're gonna be talking about it both on Thursday and Sunday. Thursday's preview and prediction day. Thursday's eat that crow or celebrate day. We're going out to alumni caller.
Motherfucker murder, mayhem, last words of the stainless. Told you I would kill you, squeeze after I aim it. If you're talking money, then you're speaking my language. Or shut the fuck up in grown folks' conversation.
Yo, TBV, what's good?
What up, Stan? It's been a minute, huh? You ain't calling about a week, feel like.
Man, it feel like it's been about a week too, man. You know me, I get into that work mode and then I fall off the grid for a hot minute. If I'm being honest, man, I just woke up and called in to listen to the show, so I'm gonna have to check back. Did I hear Mario voice on there?
Yep.
Yeah, that me. What up, Stainless?
Yo, what up, Mario? Back out the shadows. Good to hear from you again and shit.
Hey, it's good to hear from you too.
Yeah, I heard the tail end of that Rosato interview, man. I mean, I like that lady, man. Both in and out the ring. I like her game plan. Like the last interview you had when y'all was asking her questions, I liked her answers then. That lady really sounded like she knows what she's talking about, man. I wish her a lot of well wishes and prominence in this sport. That's all I got for now because I don't even really know what's going on. Shout out to Will King and everybody else that's trying to make sure we're all right from this tornado out here in Nashville. I slept like a baby through that shit. As I always say, please make sure you push the thumbs up. Share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. This is TBV for life. And if you ain't on Patreon, it's because you stupid. And shout out to El Camino. Peace.
Stainless, what man? Thank you, obviously. So who's that? Okay. So that must have been Mike with the app. So I want to announce a couple of interviews. We're gonna be back today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. With Jose Benavidez Sr. and David Benavidez. So not Jose that got beat up by Crawford. We're talking about the father and the two-time WBC champion at 168 pounds, David Benavidez. That'll be at 3 o'clock today. Tomorrow, we're going to have Lucas Bari, and that'll be at 9:30 a.m. Thursday, we got a full house. Nothing in the morning just yet, but we got heavyweight Jeremiah Milton. Then we got welterweight Thulani Minge. Then we got IBF champion at 135 pounds, Teofimo Lopez. For Friday, we got nothing on the schedule, but we're back at it, man. We're scheduling, so make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to be, a part of those interviews. And what I mean by a part of those interviews is if you're a Patreon member, you can easily ask any one of those people a question by heading on over to patreon.com/The Boxing Voice and clicking on the post, ask whatever fighter we will be interviewing a question. And, that's the privileges that we give you. So, all right, we're going back out.
Real quick, the app is very, very simple to download. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to sign up with no email or nothing like that. Also, when you download,
does it have the playback? Could you find Trout? Search Trout or boxing?
I couldn't find it.
No playback, man.
Yeah, no playback. But I'm looking at it in
that's whack. There's no on demand. I got to talk to them about that. That's crazy.
I seen it said live TV, and as soon as you click on it, it start playing for you. So it's like you ain't got to sign up. It's called Impact TV on the app, so it's very easy to download and use.
Man, I think that's tremendously corny. They're not capitalizing on that. For real. Conversations need to be had. Let's go out to the Sunshine State.
El gran campeón puertorriqueño, Vincent Davis, Chico Trinidad.
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch gloves and go to work. Let's go to work.
Yo, what up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Sound better than any other day, that's for sure. You real clear, no background noise.
Yeah, probably because I'm in the truck, man. Usually I'm in the middle of working on something when when I'm listening. I'm just sitting in the truck right now. But great interview with Michelle Rosato, man. That was a dope interview. Very inspiring, man. What she's doing is needed, and that shit that's awesome. I downloaded Impact through Pluto TV. It's an app that Stonebone told me about. It's actually a dope app. It's free TV. Got tons of channels like MTV and BET, and it has Impact on there. It's a totally free app, and there's a lot of commercials, but it's free. So that's how I got Impact. So I'm definitely tuned in and watch that Philly special. My wife is from Philly, so she's always down to see anything that's got to do with Philly, man. So that'll be cool to watch. And as far as Andy Ruiz, man, I think he beats both dudes. I would rather see him fight Kownacki than Arreola. I'd rather see him take on the young up and coming prospect or contender and put him out. I think that'd be good for Andy right now. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Appreciate the show as always.
All right, brother.
I'm so glad he told us that Pluto TV has it, because now I don't got to stream it like that, because that goes straight off your TV, or it does for me. So that app's built in. That's what's up. And they just have the channels, so.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure, this day and age, anything like that you watch on your phone, you could stream with your Chromecast or some.
Of course.
Most TVs built in with AirPlay and stuff like that. So if you're using their app, you can cast it to your television without a doubt. We're going to go to what looks like Ringer Status in Detroit. Rel, what up?
Yo, good morning, TBV. I just want to say thanks for the great content. I got to go back and listen to the show. I ain't hear the interview from earlier today, but I'm just calling in to show my love. That's my call.
All right, champ. Thanks for calling in. Well, shout out to Keem. As soon as he said Pluto, that seems to be more familiar with a lot of people. I see everybody talking about Pluto TV in the chat. So, yeah, man, if you could use Pluto to get Impact, do what you got to do to get Impact. Let's make sure that we watch this, we DVR it. Because, look, we just found out there's no on-demand.
You ain't even got to download it, bro. I just typed Impact Network on my browser.
Yeah, there's also .com.
Yeah, it pulls up right the live feed right away.
Mm-hmm. So you can watch it right on your computer if you have a laptop or something. It's no different than everything. That's what I'm saying. It's so accessible right now, and they're, at least on par with the showtimes and stuff like that. We need to have a secondary conversation about their on demand, but I need to be paid for my ideas moving forward, so I'll keep those to myself. I think I've helped them out enough. We're going to go to Caesar in Las Vegas. Good morning. Caesar, what up with you and your background noise?
I'm at work. But what's up, man? How you guys doing? I just hopped on right now. What we talking about?
We talking about Impact Network, Michelle Rosato. We had her on as a special guest, but the main topic is Andy Ruiz versus Arreola or Kownacki. Which one do you want? And do you think that Andy should entertain the Arreola fight?
No, I don't think that he should entertain the Arreola fight. I think Kownacki is the perfect fight for Andy. I think their styles are perfect for each other. That'd be a barn burner fight right there. That'd be awesome, man. I would love to see that.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, other than that, I'm just listening. I'm enjoying the show, man. Great content. Appreciate the great interview. And TBB for life, baby.
Why are people so down on Arreola? Did y'all not see him against Kownacki?
That's what I said. I thought with the Kownacki fight, he's no tune-up after watching that fight.
Definitely not no pushover.
See, I think this is what's going on. I think it's a weird situation where nobody would disagree that Arreola couldn't put together a fight that would be tough, but I don't think anybody would actually pick Arreola in that fight. So it's like this weird situation where everybody's like, oh, of course Ruiz is going to win, and they're making it sound like it's just a shitty fight, like a brush over, but I don't think that's what they're really saying. I think they're just saying that that's Andy Ruiz's fight to lose.
Yo, the truth is, I don't know who I'm gonna pick. Like, yeah, everyone's gonna pick Ruiz because he beat AJ, but it's like, can he produce another performance like that? And when has he produced a performance like that other than AJ? Was that just, the sun shining on the dog's ass? Is that his last moment? Arreola's a fucking test to let us know the answers to all of that.
But Ruiz has got a skill set that it far surpasses what Arreola is able to do skillfully in the ring. I think.
Yeah, but they got the same problem. They both are being knocked for their weight. Like, Arreola at least got over that. There was a time where Arreola was only known and having to be making excuses about coming in overweight. Now that's what we think about Andy. Because you took the biggest fight of your life to choose to come in overweight. So that shows lack of discipline. So now we're a little bit like, I don't know. I can't pick him. I'm not saying I can't pick him versus Arreola, but in a real fight, I got to see a pattern of consistency of him coming in that weight and taking camp seriously for me to believe in that.
Yeah, not a real fight, but like a top 5 fight or something like that.
I just say don't sleep on Arreola, man.
You're right.
Next call on this.
Yes, sir. Let me go out to DH in the Bay. DH in the Bay, what it do?
Shout out to everybody in the Bay.
Ness,
hell over there.
Ness, you got to stop it with all these hypotheticals, man. You said I'm like Eddie Hearn out here, man. Is this Nestor Hearn?
What hypothetical today?
3 weeks ago, you had a show talking about Andy Ruiz versus Dylan White. Andy Ruiz versus Dylan White. Then it was Andy Ruiz versus
they sent
Luis
them.
Ortiz.
Hold on, champ. They sent them 2 offers.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Now it was Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. Who's gonna win? Now it's
Luis Ortiz came out in the media and said that he wants to fight. Andy, the one that gotta take it. So. Yeah, these fights are real, man. Andy got options. What you mean hypotheticals?
Hold on, and then now you're talking about Andy Ruiz versus Kownacki. And then the next is going to be Andy Ruiz could face Jarrell Miller next week when I log on to the Boxing Voice. It's going to be Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller.
So what you saying? I don't get what you're trying to say though. Is Andy irrelevant to you?
What I'm saying is, you know what? I kind of question Al Heyman.
like, why did you put him in that rematch? You know what I'm saying? You have the belts.
Bruh, it was contract. What you mean? Why? It's a contract. You can't get out of contract.
I would have just said, fuck it. I would have went to court, and they would have to go to court, and I would have held on. You know, I wouldn't have went that route.
And then you gonna look
like you cashed him out.
And then you gonna look like you scared by going to court. What you mean, champ?
Well, you know what? It's boxing. It's business. It ain't. It's business. It ain't a sport. It's business. You know, and they fumbled the ball.
So basically, you saying Al knew Andy wasn't going to win, and he should have never let him fight.
That's what it sounds like.
I wouldn't went to Saudi Arabia with it.
Bruh, did you hear how many millions of dollars he got paid? Al couldn't pay that man $14 million.
Well, it's cash out season then, Ruiz, because now he's on Fashion Nova.
Bruh, listen, DH, I gave you hella extra time, and you sound a little bit crazy talking about his cash out season when he just got $14 million for his last fight. Now we talking about
14.
What he got?
Yes, he did not get 14.
He got like a what 9?
That's no problem.
All right, guys, we're back. So I suffered an internet crash. Luckily, YouTube let me reconnect to the same stream. So we're back. Blog Talk is down. I'm pretty sure I could get that back up as well. And looks like we still got a couple of callers on Skype. But the ones that are there, we definitely have already gotten to. I guess, you know, we can give a proper ending nonetheless. Because there's, you know, everyone on the line we already kind of gotten to. So, I don't know, man. I guess final thoughts. I don't mind either one of these two fights, man. I'm not like DH from the Bay that, I don't know, doesn't believe Andy should get the, I guess, boxing headlines he's getting. But, you know, he's like top 5 heavyweight. There's nothing you can do, you know. Dillian White used to be top 5 and he got the shine. Povetkin used to be top 5 and he got the shine. It's Andy's top 5 position in slot, and now he's getting the shine. It's no different, you know.
Dillian White is still top 5.
Well, no, what I meant is in that number 5 slot. But yeah, Andy, outside of being in that number 5 slot, man, he just brings a country. You know, Floyd said it best. He brings a country. And because he brings a country, he's going to be a commodity to promoters and networks and fighters. Because fighters know that he represents a bigger payday, you know, a more successful gate, you know, ticket sales and viewership, a return date.
Do you think those people that put all that money on Andy in the rematch, all those fans and stuff, still gonna believe in him when he come back to PBC?
Bro, but that's the thing. How many Mexicans have you heard call in saying, "Oh, fucking Andy, you puto"? You know, I ain't never watching Andy. Never. You hear people calling in talking about Wild or talking about any other fighter. Mexican support, wins or losses. Come on, where's the Mexicans that poured in? You know, to talk shit about Julio Cesar Chavez. Some people defended him. His own father defended him, bro. Like, nah,
absolutely. Some people did defend him. But
Mexican support, man. They support, man. You gotta, you know, do something outside of boxing, maybe.
And you know, it's funny because you're saying they supported him, and yet he's probably one of the most hated by Mexicans, but it still doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean? Even the guy that
they turned out. They turned out for that ever. Like, dude, the dude's hasn't had a legitimate win since Sebastian Zvick on HBO that doesn't even do boxing anymore. And they showed up at like what, 10,000 was over there in Arizona with Jacobs? It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, right.
Insane, bro. So like, yeah, Mexican support. Is Andy gonna get shitted on? I don't think so. You know, the worst thing he did was coming overweight, but then again, Arreola did that all the time and got like 3 title shots with Mexican support. And I think Andy receives more support than Arreola anyway. So the Arreola fight makes a lot of sense because you finish picking up those Mexican fans that you don't have.
Long story short, right. I don't got a problem with either fight. I know Andy been out for a while, so I don't see Arreola fight as being a problem. Kownacki fight. If I was Andy, I wouldn't jump right into that. Seeing Kownacki gonna have some rust off this weekend, and he'll be probably more ready for the fight than you will be. So I would fight Arreola first, and then look at Kownacki or Luis Ortiz to end the year with.
Listen, man, when I said earlier that I felt like it was a fight that Kownacki would steal the limelight on if they made it, what I meant was, and I know I'm wrong. I know that y'all would disagree, and I know that everybody else is going to disagree because I am wrong. But I can't help but feel that if Ruiz and Adam got in the ring together, that is Adam shooting his shot. I know it's not that way. I know this is Ruiz's card. I know he's the A side. I know Adam's being brought in as an opponent. But I feel like that would be Adam's moment. I honestly think he beats him. I do. And I hate breaking down fights way too early.
I honestly don't even know if Andy's the A-side. Shit, that fight might be in Brooklyn. Adam put a lot of bodies in Brooklyn, man.
Yeah, I could see from the number standpoint, but I think just from whatever network it landed on, they're going to bill Andy as the A-side. You know what I mean? Absolutely, whatever market they're in, that could determine. But I feel like Andy is the A-side in terms of a global market, and it is Andy's comeback fight. But I just feel like Adam Kownacki has what it takes to beat him. And again, I don't like picking too early. I don't like breaking fights down unless it's like Pacquiao Crawford, something we all like, you know what I mean? Instinctively just know how to what we think it looks like in our head because we've imagined it a million times. But fights like these, I don't like breaking down, but I just feel like Adam would win. And I'll break it down later and I'll try to figure out what I think it is that makes me believe Adam can win. But Adam's a skilled fighter. He's such a skilled fighter. So I hope that fight is the one that happens. I hope that it's not as late as the end of 2020, but we'll see. And go vote.
Yeah, so Big Supermax with the super chat that says, mark my words, Arreola stops Ruiz. What do you guys think about that?
Supermax never really been a big Andy guy. So
yeah.
I think stopping Andy, asking a lot.
What's Chris Arreola's biggest stoppage, though? He didn't even stop Stavern. He lost to Stavern twice.
I think Supermax probably reaching a little bit. AJ couldn't stop him. Parker couldn't stop him. And we talking about some guys that...
I think his biggest stoppage is Molina, right? He knocked out Eric Molina before everybody. Yeah, he got a first-round KO. Nobody did better than Arreola. Ow! That's his biggest knockout, though.
But what sticks out in people's mind, or maybe just my mind, is like I see Ruiz here, and if you're listening, then my hand's high, and Arreola down here, because Arreola shot his shot. You know, he got to shoot his shot against Vitali, and he missed. He fucking missed, okay? And Ruiz, he was able to shoot his shot against Joshua, and he won. So to me, it's like it might just be one of those things where mentally it plays a difference.
Well, all right, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll be back with another one. If you don't know, now you know. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back with Jose Benavidez Sr. and David Benavidez. So, obviously, we'll be talking Caleb Plant, unification, Samson Lewickovic and his statement on not wanting to put Benavidez in with Plant so soon. We'll see if they still want that Jamal Charlo fight that they spoke about in Cancun, Mexico for the WBC convention. But yeah, man, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/theboxingvoice and hit that thumbs up button, future, present, past. Let me bring on Stainless on a boomerang. I don't know, you got a couple of words there, Stainless. I don't know if that was enough to bring you up to date on what it was we were discussing, and do you want that boomerang status? All right, is that a yes or a no? Looking like a no. All right, well, we're out. That's GTO, Instagram and Twitter.
At Martin Munguia on Twitter and Instagram.
Gross1911, Gross2312. Peace out.
Peace.